time
with 25.
for the team talk. So, obviously Splice are going to be the opponents in the grand final. They've only played 5 games, won all 5. But the big thing for us, and the big thing which gives us hope, is the fact that all 5 of those games have been close. They've not been complete stomps, they've not been 20-minute routes. Each one of them have been long, drawn-out games where they've struggled to really take advantage of the mistakes of the opponents. Predominantly, in the mid lane is where I think we can look to take advantage of them the most. They play very immobile gods, look to pick Arposh and Zeus very high in the draft very early on from Moswell, and then look to play around him and to play around C0200 in the early game, as well as getting pressure over in the duo side. In terms of their ADC, C0200 seems to be the high priority pick for him. Love playing C0200, love playing around the Darkest of Nights in team fights, just to rearrange everybody and make sure they're catching us off guard. In terms of the draft, I feel like we take similar style of drafts that Dig did in games 2 and 3, where we ban out or pick the Naja. We definitely don't let them get Arpwash. We make sure we're picking one of those 2 for ourselves. They'll most likely pick Zeus for the mid lane, and that's what we punish in the early game.
I think we have to pick Naja for sure, but we could.
And then we're going to pick Johnson.
I mean,
I don't want to play Naja support. I don't think it's a good pick whatsoever in any way. Like,
They prioritize Artio. They
I
do,
think
right?
they just banned
Oh,
it,
was
man.
that
They
why?
played 5 games, I'm pretty sure.
Our role plays a lot, but see, RTO third pick, Audio third pick.
is there a way you can punish Naja?
Mind you, I think like what we should be leaning our focus should be in the soul lane side, despite the fact that they tend to focus the whole lane a lot. The only reason I'm saying that is because we're picking auto attack warriors and they're picking guardians most of the time the soul lane side, right? So that would mean that Ice and Deathwalker should be able to like handle them quite nicely in the soul lane side. Like you should be able to invade the blue buffs quite easily. I'm assuming like if you're getting an auto attack warrior against the Geb or Athena, I think
I mean,
you
if
should
they
be
do
golden.
the 3-man start again, like that's a free blue buff.
No,
They
yeah,
can
that's
drop the
also
king
another thing.
So, in terms of their start, as you've all noticed, they've done 3-man in the dual lane from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Just to try and get pressure. What I say we do is we just leave Vote alone in the dual lane. The 3-man, there's like they get pressure anyway, so it's just 2-man. And we do shit and harass them over on the speed buff. Like we did against Energy.
So instead we're counter invading.
We should ward speeds then.
So we should-
what we can do as well is I can go sprint instead of horrific, and well they can 2-man invade on the other side as we bait them there, or I can go horrific, they go horrific as well, and Death has a warrior that does well on level 1, and we just bait them to come after us, and as long as he avoids horrific we get a kill.
I think that like we should
I'm
just stick to
just-
speed invades.
Because
Suggesting, yeah.
we can. I mean, we have.
Because what we want to show
I
them
mean,
is
the
that
main reason why they won 3v3s was because they had Artio. Which
They
does
had-
really well.
they had RTL or Fenrir, they made sure they picked a Guardian to support that fights well on level 1.
Yeah.
So maybe if we want to avoid that sort of start from them, we ban out RTL, ban out Fenrir.
I don't think we have.
can-
I think
can we get that
Push
started?
should be banned unless
Like
we first
100% don't let Moswell get Arposh.
Yeah.
He's been playing up watch like almost every single game.
When he has the opportunity to pick Arposh, they first picked up over anything else. He is not comfortable on anything outside of Arposh and Zeus.
Honestly, remove Ardia and Upwash. I don't give a fuck about Fenrir. I mean, sure,
don't think-
Aurora is a good Fenrir player, but like,
As we saw earlier today, the second like Fenrir gets the mid game, if we're playing it correctly, you shouldn't do a goddamn thing. Dignitas had choice all 3 games, always chose first pick. So that just what led them to be able to pick Zeus top 2.
get Zeus no matter what.
Yeah. Basically, they banned away. That's game 2. So Dignitas banned away Odin Naja, let them have Arpwash game 1. Decided that was fucking dumb. So they decided to ban Naja Arpwash, let them have Zeus. Then they banned Arpwash Fenrir, took the Naja for themselves, and then let them have Zeus again. So I think Dignitas' early game draft is what cost them, and the fact that they gave him a comfort pick no matter what. Moswell is the one that's uncomfortable, and Moswell is the one we should be looking to abuse. The dual lane, they'll look to get ahead from the early game with the 3-man bullshit. I don't care about the 3-man bullshit. If Vote's by himself, he's getting more experience and more farm than they are.
Most him.
We could try give them Naja 1 game.
I don't think.
I
Naja's
don't think game 1 though. Do you guys want to
No,
give
we
them?
should.
Or we
Maybe
should?
just give one ban out
I
two.
mean, Yeah, I mean, you gotta assume that if you give them nausea, they're gonna pick it. Just try to find a way to abuse it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
like,
true.
If,
Because
if,
some-
if you
some-
know,
something
if you
like
know they're gonna
Raven-
pick something,
Exactly.
use it.
If we have Raven Regen, like what does the nausea do? Like you're basically immune for your whole
Freya,
life. So
Erline, Freya, Erline,
we steal the
Freya,
expo from them.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to do it. Thinking about it now, that's a good point.
Freya, Mercury, Freya, Mercury.
I definitely think
I'll
giving a
choose-
pen nausea is a lot better than shaking it or anything.
Okay, so Erlang Shen is 100% banned from them across the tournament. In the games against Obey, they banned away Zeus. And in the games against Dig, they banned away Freya. So it seems like Erlang Shen is 100% banned from them, and then they have a targeted ban as well alongside it. Question is, what's that targeted ban going to be against us?
Could be
Doesn't
anything.
matter.
They may try to go warriors.
It might be Pucci for
I mean, we can try.
Don't forget, they have choice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I
like,
said, if-
I think like in game one, like what we can do is like can fill them out, but like the way we can draft it is like draft pressure. Like have something set in mind, try to like fill them up with that,
The
and then
issue-
like the next game
The
change
issue
the
is
strat.
what Splice do is they look to fight as often as possible. They just look to brawl and brawl and brawl and brawl and brawl because that fucks up enemy comms, that fucks up enemy plans because no one expects to fight as much.
Well,
early.
Yeah.
very aggressive junglers.
But
with,
I
like,
think-
3 blinks on the team.
I think that's good though because like we like to brawl to a certain extent.
The thing is, they played against teams who never had that identity. Back in end of season 3 and beginning of season 4, that was our identity. We just fought as often as possible.
I think we should be fine as long as like we're not going to be making clusterfuck out of comms. I think everything
Yeah.
should be good.
You also have to think.
Just fight on our terms, like
Exactly.
just fight them when they don't want to fight us.
If we can slow the pace of the game down and frustrate them, I think that's where they're going to start making the most mistakes, and we can punish them.
Because I think the best way to do it is like they picking the mobile mid laners, right?
Yeah.
That means that everything is going to be based around mid lane, and if like that's what they think at least, right? So you can just force something in side lane, so Icy can be going with Deathwalker to invade buffs there, and then let's say I can have like Hellas in mid lane and we can engage the Zeus in the meantime, so we can have like 2 different fights going on, one on the blue buff, one on the Zeus, for example, on
Honestly.
rotation. Do you need to like, regardless of the situation, if they pick guys that are immobile, you need to force stuff on the side lanes and never in the mid lane, so you can cut him out of position. You need to force him to rotate, do stuff like that.
Honestly, if they have Zeus, we could run cap.
We
No.
could, but
Let's go
that,
Raven Regen. Or
I think-
Raven Tot even.
I think like Raven. I think
I do
Raven
think AMC is
straight
gonna
up
be pretty sick.
smashes. I think AMC could be sick, but I think we need to get Freya in that case, right? So like Vote gets Freya, we have a magical, so we have
could
a
also pick
magical.
up Artemis. Like no one's picked very if we pick very team fight oriented gods,
I
they
think
can't.
just steal away the expo, because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
all they're doing.
Yeah, I definitely think X-Ball.
Yeah, X-Ball has been a common pick for them.
Still
Like if we get like, okay, keep
Like sometimes they've picked a top 3, sometimes they've picked a bottom 2. I'm gonna have a look back at the picks and bans and see if there's any reason for it at some point. And if I find something, I'll let you guys know.
You guys could do what you did against Trifecta. Every EU teams has out-farmed NA teams
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
what we'll do.
constantly.
I
Even-
think like even if we lose buffs, let's say we give up red, purple, or we're forced to do it, we just get something in return on the other side. Like if they 4-man and rotate, like there's no reason for us to be frustrated or anything as long as they don't
Well,
obviously out-farm us.
I think
DVOs is just always playing like
I just
Geb
think we can
and no
frustrate
pressure
them.
characters, so
I just think
warriors should be able to abuse them.
I just think we can frustrate them the way we play, cause like what we did, especially against Trifecta, we started forcing stuff on the side lanes rather than mid lane. We weren't really fighting in mid lane that much. We had like a couple of them, but like most of the time we either had Deathwalker rotating over into us ahead already, which means that like we were doing stuff around soul lane or dual lane not so much either way. But if you force them in like bad positions, because Divios rotates a lot with the guys that he picks, right? Athena, Keb,
Yeah.
he's looking to rotate and he's looking to put himself behind to put other of his teammates ahead.
He picks gods that just are AFK in lane and then rotate and do very well in the late game team fights. But then
I've been thinking about it as well. Like Osiris does really well against all those characters.
Yeah.
Because if he wants to clear, he has to like get past a certain point in the lane with all 3 of those characters. And Osiris kind of
Like,
punishes that.
honestly, if we can keep him locked in solo lane without having to without having anybody rotating over to do so, that makes their invader makes that team fight in mid and non red buff extremely weak.
One thing, how much does Sign focus the dual lane? Because he doesn't focus mid, I know that. But how much does he prioritize the dueling ganks?
Because of the 3-man start that they do, they get timers on purple and red immediately, and he goes and tries to rotate on them every single time.
Not most of the time they invaded like purple and then they left red. They try
Yeah,
to
they
invade
just
the
took
next.
the purple
They try to
away.
they leave the red one
No,
and then they try to invade the next one.
it's if there's defense on the red.
Yeah.
It's like the games they will just take
Okay.
members or.
If they get a kill in lane, they'll go for red. If they don't get a kill in lane, they'll go for purple.
Yeah.
That's what seems to be the pattern to it.
Yeah, I
But
think
like I mean, if we 3-man the other side, then they're getting both, no matter what, probably.
I mean, and then we just take that.
Guan Yu also shits on all of those picks.
Guan Yu might not be that
Guan Yu.
bad because
Guan Yu shits on
which
Geb,
one?
Guan Yu shits on Terra, Guan Yu shits on.
I
It
feel
also
like
shit on Zeus a bit.
The more I think about
Yeah.
it, I
And
think like
Pitch.
this strike could
You
be
know.
pretty nasty because like we can have like the core Capri aims, it like double cab, but I don't know
Nah,
how
fuck
I
that,
don't
man.
know how much you
Nah,
want that.
Just like
Yeah.
if he's an immobile, go fucking Robin, man.
I think that's that because like he has a good point. Since he has an immobile character, Raven just like does everything better.
Like if we can just consistently keep Moswell under tower, consistently keep him low health and killed, they can't do their inroads. They can't play the game.
just
We'll
think-
slow the pace of the game down by doing so.
I just think we shouldn't try to force fights around mid lane like ever, unless like we're really confident we're going to win. Because like you want to get the immobile god out of the lane so you can actually get caught him out of position. Otherwise, it's going to be
I
hard.
don't want him to. I don't want him to be able to like use his ultimate during the team fights at rep buff. So I want to make
That's okay. Fair enough.
I want to make sure that he is uncomfortable going into the jungle and uncomfortable going into those team fights. Because if he gets just his ultimate off, then he's done his job.
Right. That's fair.
In terms of
Unless
build,
you just
in terms of
like
build,
smash.
Cyclone Spin will always go crit. No matter what. Okay, yeah, sometimes he builds Rage
I
first.
could go
Sometimes he
Thorns
He
Nimi.
goes rage on Jabalonke.
Towards the like I mean you have the one on towards the enemy.
Just anyone Thorns
Anything,
Nimi.
okay, anything, sure.
pick somebody who could just run at EDCs and then.
I
Fucking
think-
Osiris Thorns Nimi.
What did they do?
One thing about mid laners, I've legit played 90% of my games only raging. I think there's gonna be a point where they might be banned.
Yeah, that's why we're trying to get Albosh or Zeus.
'Cause-
If we're first pick, if we're second pick, we can look for like.
I mean, I don't mind because like I can play pretty much anything. I can just Discordia up or anything like that. But they seem to do well against Discordia. That's one thing.
So the common thing which they've done in the early game in every single game is they picked on the support. If you saw game 2 against Obey, RF was like 0 and 8 at some point. Trix Tank was 0-6, 0-7 on Fenrir. They just kept on picking on the support. So we need to make sure that Callus is never alone because they'll just try and pick on him because they know he doesn't have beats, they know he doesn't have any safety relics.
But
Faf could be pretty valuable
But that's
against-
brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant because if they want to do that, then we can pick the Janus, and then like we can have the Raven. So let's say we have Raven Janus, and then start forcing stuff on the side lanes.
Just out-rotate them.
I would rotate them to fucking oblivion, and then kill them on rotation.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Because you have the Janus, you have the mobility. Kala should be fine no matter what.
To be honest, if we're not starting a dueling, we can play Athena as well, because
Yeah.
like her problem is laning,
I think we can.
but like if there is no laning, then
There is a
That-
problem.
I think
Kala.
not a
Staff is
problem
so much
anymore.
better than.
One problem. There is one problem with that plan. We haven't had much success with Athena, like lately. I've seen enough late. And another big thing about it is like if we pick Athena and Janus, the follow up to the taunt is going to be pretty garbage.
I mean, yeah.
That's going to be like the
Also
two big
Ares.
things about it.
I think Ares is a valuable pick in this.
Meanwhile, we can. I think
Faf is super
Ares
valuable.
or Faf could be
Because
nice.
like with Fafnir, a Willix will fuck me up. Like I won't be.
Yeah,
able
but
to
they
do
never
anything.
top 3 to Willis, right?
No.
Even if they pick a Willis, I guess.
They
Yeah, I mean,
final
like-
they final picked Wheelix game 2 against Dig because Dig had fucking Kept Fenrir Discordia.
I think.
Yeah, like
So if
Like-
we're thinking of picking Fafnir or we have a
Ban
Fafnir team,
Wheelix.
we could just ban Wheelix.
Take them ban.
If they haven't picked their jungler by then, because if Narshal's on the table, most
Like,
likely they'll pick Narshal for
the
this
reason why Raffer was dying so
EMC,
much is because they last picked Emir into fucking all the fucking AoEs and slows
Yeah,
and
but like
bullshit.
they had no mobility. Meanwhile, like they were looking to fight all the time. Like,
Like-
see, like that's the reason I'm saying Janus. 'Cause,
like no Puash. Like I'm not gonna die on Ares. Like they're not gonna kill me unless I'm just retarded and position myself in a dumb
I think
spot.
Abosh is a really risky pick to play against though. I don't know. Would you like as a
We
front
just said we're gonna ban it.
Yeah,
We-
we're not going to ban
Yeah,
Narshal.
okay.
We just said
Ever.
we're gonna ban it.
Unless we're first pick and want to pick
Okay.
it.
Yeah, we're not
No,
banning
like that's
it.
still not giving it to them.
we're not
never
letting
give
it through.
them, yeah.
Like we're just not letting it through.
And
so.
with Zeus, do we want to plan something?
Well, with
around
Zeus,
him?
Jan, like if they have Zeus and we have
I
Robin,
think-
Jan,
yeah.
and Ares, like
Yeah.
What does he do?
that shouldn't be an issue.
That was kind of my plan because
She
like,
belong
like,
here, I wanna
Yeah, exactly. Because like I blink ult and I can get portaled out. Like, and on top of that, I'm pretty sure Moswell is not gonna think about a random ass fucking portal.
I mean,
Like if Obey doesn't think about it, like I fucking baited 3 ultimates with a portal and ultimate multiple times from people.
Yeah.
I don't think Moswell is gonna be, oh shit, there's 100% gonna be a portal, which is why I'm not gonna ult this Ares. He's probably just gonna drop his fucking ult and I'm gonna get TP'd anyway. So
It's the fact that like our synergy needs to be on point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna be.
I mean,
Well, I mean, you don't go into the game thinking you're synergy.
I trust you two.
Hmm?
I trust you two to pull it off, 100%.
Easy piece.
So, we have an idea what we're going to do for picks and bans. We have an idea of what we want to do in the game. Everyone on board with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, we're going to go to the venue. You can get there anytime considering,
What
unfortunately.
time play?
3 o'clock, they said.
I think we just get there like right away.
What?
Who's playing in the morning?
Xbox team.
What time are they starting?
just get
11.
there on 12.
Just do the same thing we did today, I think, and yesterday. Like, have breakfast and go to the venue.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to be grouped.
Do we
We
want
can
to,
just meet there
because we
and
want
find
to try and get
a
some shots, don't we? We're all going to the venue together.
Yeah, if we could, especially for finals, if you guys can go together.
Sure. I
Okay.
Mean, whenever do you guys want?
Should we head over there at 12?
Yeah, like I think that's like 3 hours before
Yeah.
we play, and it's not like fucking 6 hours. Like we don't
Okay.
have to be
We're
there
not
that
going to be
early.
getting bored sitting
So, yeah.
around. I think
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the best case to actually.
Alright.
Okay, so what do you want to do?
So everybody meets in the lobby near Starbucks at 12. And we'll head over together.
Okay. Yo, bring your sandwiches again in the water.
Yeah, we'll get food again.
Sounds good.
You can do the same thing, like
Yeah.
same sandwiches.
Alright, and before we go on stage, by the way, during the Xbox set, that's going to happen. We'll again just reconvene what we said today, as per
Yeah,
usual.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Alright, you free to go. Next on the agenda, where are we going for dinner?